Hey guys, Barrett here from Pickleball Kitchen. What is that kitchen? Whenever we talk about the kitchen or the non-volley zone in pickleball, it can kind of trip people up, and whether or not you're new to the game, you've never seen the game before, or you're really starting to get into it, this video is going to help you understand the pickleball kitchen rule so that you'll never get confused again. All right, let's get started. Now, just to give you kind of a lay of the land here, this right here is the kitchen. You have a kitchen on this side of the court, and then on the other side over here. The kitchen is the colloquial term. The real term is the non-volley zone, but most people just say kitchen. Here is the general kitchen rule, just so that you understand kind of a basic level. You cannot be standing in this zone and volley a ball at the same time. Now it gets a little bit more complicated than that, but the first thing we need to do is understand what a volley is. A volley is just a shot that you hit that hasn't bounced yet. Okay, let me show you. These are volleys. Notice how when I'm hitting these balls, they haven't bounced yet. They're coming straight over, okay? These are volleys. But it's really important to understand though, a volley is a shot that hasn't bounced yet, regardless of what kind of shot that you make. This is a very common thing. So whether or not the volley was way up here as an overhead or way down here as a really soft shot, that doesn't matter. It's only if the ball hasn't bounced yet. That's very, very important. Notice how when I'm doing these volleys, I'm staying out of the kitchen the whole time. See that? And it doesn't matter how high this ball is. It doesn't matter if I'm hitting it above the kitchen. As long as my feet are not touching the kitchen or the kitchen line, then I'm good to go. However, it does get a little bit more complicated than that. I mean, of course it does, right? It also counts if your volley takes you into the kitchen because of your momentum. Watch this. So did you see how that worked? That was a kitchen fault. The reason is because I volleyed a ball and then my momentum took me into the kitchen. That is a fault. So you have to be very careful. Instead, do this instead, making sure that I'm stopping before I go into the kitchen. Now you're probably wondering, okay, well then what's safe? Now, there's a little bit of a gray area here, right? And sometimes it's up to the ref to really figure out what is a fault and what isn't. But generally, you want to make sure that you have a balanced state. So as an example, watch this. Now that was not a fault. And the reason is because once I volleyed the ball, I split like this, got balanced, my momentum completely stopped, and then I came into the kitchen. That is okay. That is not a fault. In order for you to be safe, you have to reset into a balanced state, and then you're good to go. Does it get more complicated than that? Unfortunately, it does. It also counts if you were in the kitchen. So as an example, let's say that I've got my foot in the kitchen like this, and a volley's coming over. Okay, that would be a normal fault, right? We all know that now. However, watch this. That is also a fault. The reason is because you can't be in the kitchen, step out, and then volley a ball before that foot lands, which is kind of obvious, right? Because then I could just stand here like this, right? And then jump out and hit it. And that's not good. They really don't want you to be making faults in this kitchen, if you can tell. So again, watch. Like that. That is a fault. In order for you to be safe, same concept. So again, if I'm here like this, got to make sure I step out and get into that balanced state first. Then I can make the volley. You can be in the kitchen as much as you want, as long as you're not volleying balls. Realistically, in terms of the rules of the game, I can stand here like this and play the game. Now, do you want to do that? Absolutely not. The reason is because what if someone volleys a ball at you and you hit it? That's a fault. That is why you see people out here behind the kitchen line. Because if a hard ball is coming your way, you're going to have to volley it. Which means if you're here, it's automatically a fault. However, what if the ball bounces? If the ball bounces, you can do whatever you want. You can step in the kitchen Remember, it's only for volley, so watch. So here I am, right? I can step in the kitchen and do that if I want to. I can also stay out of the kitchen if I want to. You see? The ball's bounced. Now that volley, that was important. I stayed out of the kitchen for that. And so what you can do is, if you're really having trouble with this rule, you can stand here like this and have someone feed you shots and try out both of these methods. An area where you will see this a lot is when you're doing cross-court dinking this way. So if I'm cross-court dinking with someone, oftentimes people will cross over like this and then dink the ball going that way, okay? Well, as you can see, I'm stepping into the kitchen. Well, as long as the ball bounces, you're good to go. So a couple of rapid fire things here. I think it's very important to understand that it doesn't matter where the ball lands. It doesn't matter where the ball is. It only matters if it has bounced or not. That is really how you understand the kitchen. It's based off of that principle. Again, if I'm just hitting shots like this, standing here, what I'm concerned with is whether I'm volleying the ball or not, or whether I'm dinking it like that. So again, just as a recap here, you cannot be in this kitchen and volley a ball at the same time. Regardless of how soft your volley was or how hard the volley was, if it hasn't bounced yet, that's a volley. You also can't let your momentum from your volley take you into the kitchen. This includes when you're doing this kind of thing and you're trying to keep yourself from falling over. If you volleyed a ball and that's what caused it, that's a fault. You also can't have been in the kitchen and volley a ball. You have to get into that bounce state and then volley first. Guys, that is the kitchen rule. Hey, if you're new to pickleball, go try it out. It's a lot of fun. I hope that was helpful. You can go to pickleballkitchen.com to get started with pickleball in case you're a new player. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.